This is Scott the Fix-It Guy. Our goal with our videos is to empower you to be able to do the repairs on your own and save a whole lot of money and also get that great feeling of having fixed it by yourself. Today we have a gas oven where we're going to be replacing the broiler igniter and the bake igniter. This is a double oven, so this is actually just going to be on the upper oven. I'm going to use a screwdriver to pry back these latches on the right and left hand side. And then once I have them pried down, I can then close the door at about 33 degrees and it'll unclip from the bottom. I can pull it out. Then I can pull out the rack. This one just had one rack. And I'm going to be replacing this upper igniter that's exposed right here for the broiler. And I just got to take out a couple of Phillips head screws to get it out. So I just zip those out. This will only take you a few minutes. And I'm going to be using kind of a generic igniter, an Electrolux or Frigidaire igniter. They're about maybe 15 bucks from Amazon. We'll put a description in the a link in the description below so you can order one. And I'm taking out this little panel here on the back firewall that allows me to pull the wires further out. And it's advised that you have the oven unplugged when you do this. We're going to cut these wires one at a time, pretty close to the igniter. These are the wires that are bringing power to the igniter. And here's the old igniter. It was just getting worn out, it just wasn't able to ignite anymore. So I'm taking the power wires and I'm stripping back about 1/4 inch of the insulation with my wire strippers. And then I'm going to splice in the new igniter. I'm getting the new igniter wires ready. I'm just kind of twisting them because they were a bit frayed. Here's the brand new one. And I'm noticing that the frame that holds it is slightly different from the one that's in there right now, so I had to bend it slightly to get a 90-degree angle. I got it in position now, and then I'm going to add the 2 Phillips head screws that hold it in. So now I'm going to take either one of the power wires and hook it to either one of the igniter wires. There's no polarity problem, so either power wire to either igniter wire will be fine. I'm going to put on the ceramic wire nuts and get them really strong, turned to the right, so I have a good electrical connection. Then I'll do the same with the next igniter wire going to the oven power wire. Put that in position and then screw it until it can't go any further, a nice tight connection. Then I'm going to stuff those wires into the firewall, kind of get them out of there. And then, before I do that, I'll do a test. I'm going to set for broil, press start, 550 degrees, and then I'm just going to watch it and should see the igniter start to glow. And then within about 30 seconds you should get ignition. When the igniters get older, they can take, maybe an hour before they ignite. So after about 4 or 5 years it's good to change the igniter. So there's pretty hot igniter, and then after a few seconds we should get the gas flow and then ignition. There we go. So there's the ignition for the broiler. That looks great. So we'll go ahead and turn it off, and then we'll push those wires back into the firewall, and I'm going to put the little panel back into position. So I'm just pushing those wires back in there. If you wanted to do the lower oven, it's exactly the same. It's just down lower, but it has the same arrangement. So this oven actually has 4 igniters. It has a broiler at the top, a bake igniter, and then at the lower oven has the same arrangement. So here's that little panel going back into position, and there's 2 Phillips head screws that hold it in. Get those locked in. And then before I put the oven back together, I'm going to do the bake element, or the bake igniter too. I'm going to unscrew these two standard head screws at the back of the lower panel, and then I'll tilt the lower panel up from the back about 45 degrees to get it out. And then I got to remove 4 screws from this other panel that's protecting the igniter. This is something that kind of spreads the heat evenly. And there's 4 screws here in the front that are holding it in, and then there's 2 pieces in the back. You just have to pull this panel towards you and it'll slide out. And then underneath it is the igniter, and it's being held in by 2 Phillips head screws. So we're going to pull those 2 screws out. Here's the second one. Oh wait, there's the second one. There we go. Pull the igniter toward us. That exposes the wire. So this one's been replaced before, so there are wire nuts already. If it was from the factory, you would have to do the same thing as we did on the broiler. We'd have to cut the wire. But this one has wire nuts. We just unscrew the wire nuts, and then we can pull the old igniter away, and we'll grab a new igniter. Again, this is just kind of a generic Electrolux Frigidaire igniter. We're going to hook either one of those igniter wires up to either one of the power wires from the oven, get it nice and tight, and then we'll do the other side, just like we did on the broiler. So for about 40 bucks, you could have both the broiler and the igniter refreshed with brand new igniters, which allow the oven to heat evenly, allow it to heat quickly, and allow it to reach the correct temperatures. So those are all hooked up, and I'm noticing that the bracket that holds the igniter is pretty different from the new one. So I'm actually going to do something unusual. I'm going to bend the bracket and take out the new igniter. I'll take the old one. I'm going to bend the bracket and take that bracket, the old bracket, and put it onto the new igniter, and then I'm going to just clamp it shut by squeezing the metal together. You can just do that with your hands, or you could use a pair of pliers. And now that's going to hold that igniter really well, because it's a very different type of an arrangement than the universal one. So sometimes you can just use the old bracket. So I'm going to put that in position, add those 2 Phillips head screws. I'm pretty much done. We're just going to put it back together. There we go. And we give it a little test here. We're going to set it for bake, 350 degrees. And there's the glow of the igniter. It's starting. Once it gets really hot, the safety valve will let the gas flow in, and the igniter acts like a match. It'll light it up. It doesn't want to let that gas flow though unless it's very, very hot. A few more seconds. There we go. That's a nice blue flame, really good. Alright, we're going to put it back together. So we're going to put in that heat diffuser, add the screws, then we're going to put in the lower panel, bring it the front lip in first, and then set down the back, and then add the 2 standard head screws that hold it. Those you can just do finger tight, you don't even have to really use a screwdriver. There we go. We'll put the rack back in. Slides in. Always want to put the curved side in first with the curved part pointing up. Here goes the door. We push in the forks for the hinges and then set it down, close the latches, and we are done. And then we can just set it for bake to do one more test, or for broil, and it's like a brand new oven. So hopefully this has helped you and you can get your bake and broil going for you too. Really appreciate you watching, and best of luck for your repair. Thanks so much for watching our video. We really appreciate your support. And when you get a chance, please press the subscribe button below so you can be subscribed, and also the notification bell so we can send you more videos about appliance repair. Please also give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. If you really liked the video and it really helped you, please press this new applaud button and you can show your support and also get a nice clapping hands for your video. Thanks again.